Next, I want to speak about tangency. So what I'm going to do is to draw an arc here. So this is my first arc. I want to draw another arc. So this is going to be my next arc. I want to draw a line like this, and all of them can be a tangent in some way. Let's say that I want to have this, press Ctrl key, and this in tangency. So if I go here, I can see the tangency is enabled. If I click on that, you can see that it changes in a way that it goes and have a tangency with this one. You can see that if I extend this arc, in some point it's going to have a connection with the other arc. So this is kind of a tangency that I can create. So I cancel this out. What I'm going to do is to select this, press Ctrl key, and this line this time. So if I go and enable tangency, you can see that again the line moves down in a way that if I extend the line, it will have a tangency with this part. Again, I cancel this out. What I'm going to do is to create a coincidence between this point, end point of this, and press Ctrl key and select this one, this point of the arc. I select them to have a coincidence. So I click on them, and you can see that both of them now connect to each other. So what I'm going to do is this. I click on OK, select the first arc, press Ctrl key, and select the second arc, and now I'm going to add a tangency. This time, because they have a connected point, they change, and again in a way that if I extend them, and right now they are extended enough to connect to each other. If I extend them and they connect to each other, they have a connection like this. I'm going to do the same thing with this point in the end of this arc. Let me cancel this out and do it one more time. I wanted to have tangency. This point and the end point of this line, I'm going to select these two. I'm going to have a coincidence. This means that the points should be coincident. I click on OK, and I'm going to select this and go to here and make sure that tangency is enabled. Now you can see that my shape changes in such a way that I have a tangency here. So I click on OK. What happens if I try to make this point and this point coincident? Does it happen or not? Let me select these two and go here and select coincidence. See what happens. You see that the shapes change in a way that the 2 points meet each other. So I cancel this out. I'm going to show you multiple ways of fixation. So I'm going to show you the fix constraint and also the fix command here. So first of all, I have enabled the profile command, and right now you can see that the geometrical constraint is enabled. So if I draw something that Catia understands there is a constraint applicable, it will do that. And I just draw this line in horizontal way and this way, this one, and I'm going to have a tangent arc and then continue this way and finish my line like this. So the profile is created for me. You can see that some tangencies are added here because now it understands that tangencies are enabled. What I'm going to do is to remove this tangency. I really don't want this. So I click on that and press delete key, and that tangency goes away. What I'm going to do is to try to grab one of the endpoints like this one, and I move it up or down or whatever I want to do. You can see that it moves. If I try to grab this horizontal line and move this, you can see that everything moves. Like I said before, this is because in options we have selected a minimal move enabled. So if I go to tools, go to options, and go to sketcher under mechanical design and select solving mode, instead of minimum move I can use a standard move, and I can click on close and OK. Now you can see that by dragging this, the whole shape is going to move, although I have selected only one of these. But you see that the whole shape moves some kind of like this. Sometimes if I drag the endpoint, again it moves. Most of the time I prefer to be in minimum mode. So let's go back here and select minimum mode, and again go back to my discussion. I wanted to show you that by dragging this, some part of the shape moves. Let's say that I want to make sure that the integrity of this shape doesn't break whatsoever. So how can I do that? I can select the whole shape. Then in my right toolbar there is an option that says Fix Together. I can find it under Insert. If I go to Constraint, there is a constraint creation tool that says Fix Together, so you can find it in both places. So I select Fix Together, and you can see that a fix icon appears in the middle of the shape, and this dialog box says that I'm selecting multiple things here, and I'm going to click on OK. You can see that now if I grab this point, although the minimum mode is selected, I can move the whole shape together. Now I want to show you fixed constraint. That is something interesting. Let me draw some line. I draw some line here, and by drawing this line you can see that if I grab it, I can move it to whatever place I want to. But let's say that I don't want it to move. I want it to be fixed in some place. So I select it, go here, and you can see that fix is enabled. If I click on fix and click on OK, you can see that I can't move it anywhere. Neither the line, nor the endpoint. I can of course extend it or shrink it, but I cannot move it up or down, left or right, or something like that. So this is another type of fixing that you can see here.